just maybe one final statement, just added to your discussion. I think one main question for me is Brussels and Cologne are centers and they are strong. And an advertisement of Cologne, for example, regards Aachen as a suburb of Cologne with the Aachen University. And if we are content with this situation, we can accept it. For me, that's all. Okay, the flyer introduces me as coming from Dortmund, which is the main site of our institute, research institute. But actually, I'm an original lad from Aachen, born only at some 100 meters distance from the King's Hall of Charlemagne. This enables me to show you my personal map of the Euregio. Since more than a decade, I use this map to plan my free time activities, and I always have it with me in my car. From a German, or should I say Prussian view, Aachen is a part of the Rhineland. But personally, I consider us to be part of the Maasland, because the Maas River forms a central regional line only at a distance of 30 kilometers from Aachen. Meanwhile, the River Rhine is some 70 kilometers away. Most of my everyday life activities concentrate on the region west of Aachen. Just to mention the snow world in Landgraf, the ice hall in Geleen. I used to play ice hockey in a Dutch, Belgian, German hobby league. I was fine, but heavy. Go fishing with my grandson on the Maas Lakes. Visit the Abbé de Valdieu, près de Aubel. The flea market of Baptiste on Sundays, or the Fridays market in Liège. And I use some other maps for planning my hiking tours across national frontiers. But back to a new map. I consider map as a symbol for something to transport ideas. Maybe it's not meant really as a flat plan. With strategies of urban planning, which strategies of urban planning follow competing regions generally to improve their position? That's the question. We identified three main strategies. First, designing the city's skyline or elevation. Second, iconic great buildings by star architects. And third, reinterpreting the ancient heritage. But those projects are not without risks. To be showcased with the Kaiserplatz Gallery in Aachen. After years of preparation, this 250 million euro project recently was stopped by the city authorities, and the planning architect will go into prison for some years, but this is another background. Now, a citizens' protest movement arranged so-called hanging gardens on the fence around the wasteland after demolition on last Saturday. Competing regions shouldn't get out of mind that they are also responsible for some weaker parts of the population. I just mentioned the target groups for those other strategies. And the improvement of everyday life in disadvantaged neighborhoods. And this idea of narrative, Martina Löw calls it Eigenlogik, of places, I think must refer to history. Those strategies must also put emphasis on the renewal of housing, implementing life cycle planning, fostering physical refurbishment, and changing the view of these urban structures. And other target groups are in the focus. Vital quarters and neighborhoods are attractive figureheads of a region. This is my belief. To start things really working, from the view of planning, at least, 4 clusters should develop and share common ideas and guidelines for the regional future. This is first the planning section, society, real estate, and The fourth is the financial sector. Without money, it's difficult to develop something. In times of decreasing budgets, planning is not only a task of administrations, must not be only a task of administrations. In Köln, a union of entrepreneurs commissioned the architect Albert Speer to design a master plan for the renewal of the inner city of Köln. A plan, a map, maybe. Some disadvantaged outskirts stay outside of this perspective, as for example Köln-Kalk, which is middle above over there. The private foundation Montag-Stiftung Urbane Räume, established as an innovative 3-year project in Kalk Nord, the Kalkschmiede, so-called Kalkschmiede, which means Kalk, smithery, it's a word, Campbell. This interdisciplinary independent team shall improve living conditions and housing, bringing together housing providers, movements of citizens and administration. Kalkschmiede uses as one of the concepts OpenStreetMap as an interactive tool for a new, commonly shared open map of the neighborhoods, and all citizens who want to add their personal elements to this map are supported to do so. I think the server for this OpenStreetMap is in Oxford or University. I'm not really sure, but I think it is. Finally, some thoughts about interdisciplinary work. Depending from the individual point of view, the angle of perspective and the plane of projection, the pictures of the same object vary in many ways. To find a way to put them together in a map, if they are complementary, can be very useful. Different complementary perspectives, which could be layered in a map to show the specifics of a neighborhood or a region, concern, this is our thesis, physical space, social space, symbolic space, economic space, and political space. Some remarks on the right, what this could be in detail. But this seems to be complicated because you have to find a common language to develop those ideas, those shared ideas. And maybe sometimes a mission should be sectioned to get it working. Therefore, my final statement is a map really able to put all those things together, or what kind of other element could transport ideas like mentioned before? Thank you.